So I guess I'll show off some of the bigger cube stuff because that gets difficult with the hand shifts. Now on the 8x8, you can't do the 2-3-3-2 stuff anymore. If we do that, it seems to be great, but you can't access the middle. So what I do is I shift the right hand in an extra 1. So I've got 2-3-4-3 on the hand shift indicator. And so the right one, the right hand can do 4 layers or 3 layers, and the left hand can do 2 or 3. So the problem here, that you have to get used to this because there's really no way around it, the problem here is that certain types of turns can only be done by one hand. So let's start off a solve. Now, I can only turn the middle layers with my right hand. So if I want to pair up like, 2 middle yellows, I have to do a right hand turn to do it. And then this is a 3-layer turn, so I can use any hand. I'm just building this row here. And then the outermost stuff, only the left hand can do that. So I have to set that up on the left. So again, the inner stuff I set up on the right, and the outer stuff I have to do on the left. And it's pretty awkward, but you get used to it. So the thing is, basically with all the bigger cubes, I'm just going to solve this, but I'll tell you some stuff while I'm going. The thing with all the bigger cubes is that the hand shifts basically get worse and worse. The hand shift system is really not designed for huge cubes. I mean, well, okay, it's designed for huge cubes, but it's not really designed to be good as the size increases. But unfortunately, it's the only system we have for computer cubes with the keyboard. When Ryan Heiss was developing this system, I helped by trying to think of some other ways to control the cube, and I really didn't have any better ideas. This was the best idea we had, so, I mean, you're kind of stuck with it. But at the very least, you can get used to it. I think I've showed that by my times. You can get used to it, and it's not as bad as it seems at first. But it does require a different approach for each different size of cube. The 4 and 5 is basic, no hand shifts at all. You don't need it. The next 6 and 7, those, as you've seen, those require 2 and 3. Basically, you shift each hand in once, and that works. Now the 8 and 9, those are harder. That's where you start to get different hands doing different things, because you can't fit everything on each hand. So that's 2, 3, and 4, 3. Then 10 and 11, it's even worse. I use, personally, the 2, 3, and 4, 5. So that covers all the possible layers at once, although, again, it's pretty awkward. You really have to concentrate or practice, and you really have to, think about what you're doing and where, because you can't just put stuff together. You have to really have a strategy and go at it in a specific way. Like, for example, when you solve a real cube, you can just put stuff in wherever. You're making a line, you just put in whatever you see. And that's pretty fast. And you do the same thing with the computer cubes, really. On the mouse-controlled ones, you can just do whatever. You put in whatever you see, and that works great. But on the keyboard cubes, you kind of have to go in a very specific order. You kind of have to really, put stuff together in a way that works with the hand shifts rather than against them. Oh yeah, this is important. So you got to the last couple centers, and basically you've done pretty much all you can without using commutators. Now you have to use commutators. So you're lucky that on the smaller cubes you can pretty much turn any slice. Here's the third slice, the second slice, the first slice. When you get 10 and bigger, you can't do that. So that requires a lot of shifting. Every time you do a commutator, you have to shift your hands to make sure that you can turn the slice you need. On the 8 and 9, those are the biggest cubes where it's comfortable. And now we've got the edges. this is pretty simple. You reset, and then you see we've got 3 types of edges, 2, 3, and 4 deep. So we go to 1, 4, 1, 4. That's shift 4 and 7 twice. And so now we can turn like that. We can pair up these middle ones, and we can turn the right and left layers. So it's 6 pair. That's what I use. You can use 2 pair if you want. So it's you do whatever you do on 4x4s, just with harder recognition, because there's more pieces to look at. Although you can get used to it, because the thing about these bigger cubes is that although it looks like there's a ton of stuff, I'm only concentrating on a couple things at a time. When I'm building like a row, I don't concentrate on all the stickers. I concentrate on, if I'm building white, I look what's white and which of these do I need and what fits. You know, which of these white pieces are the right type that I can use to build my layer, my row. So that is actually not so bad. When I do a really big cube, I actually look at individual stickers and just turn until I see the right color and then insert that. So now here we've got edges. I'm only looking at this part of each of these 4 edges, which I can see. So now this is 5x5. I use 1, 3, 1, 3. It's 2 deep. So 1, 2, 1, 3. And then that turns like that. So I can build, 3 pieces at a time, like a 5x5 edge. And when I'm done with that, I go to the outer edges in 3x3. One important point is the OLL and PLL parities, which appear in even cubes mostly. And so I actually use the same stuff as the first set of edges. So on the 6x6, the first edges are 1, 3, 1. The middle edges are 1, 3, 3, 1. That's the hand shift you'd use. So I use those so I can go like that, and that turns it into a 4x4. So Z key, that's turns the top half, especially for the PLL parity. So PLL parity is the same as 4x4, just executed exactly the same way. And OLL parity, same thing, as long as you have the shift set up properly. So let's do like a really big, just to demonstrate, I'll do one layer. Like the 10x10, I use 2, 3, and then 4, 5. So that means that each type of turn can only be done by one hand. See, the right hand can turn the inner ones, and the left hand can do the outer ones. So when I do a row, I actually start with only the right hand doing actual turns. I use both hands to set it up, but the right hand does the innermost stuff. And then once we've got the inner ones paired up, then I use the left hand to do the outer pieces that have to fit in. So there, we've got our layer. And the edges is the same thing. Actually, the centers is the hardest part. The edges, the centers you really have to figure out what are the hand shifts you want to use. But the edges you can just do the same thing, basically. You shift all the way in, and then you shift, one end and one shifts. And that's the middle edges, and then you just go out and do one edge group at a time. And that actually, it works pretty well. It's not the fastest style, probably, in theory. When you're doing a physical cube, you don't want to use that. But for the computer cubes, because of the hand shift, it's actually more efficient to do it that way and just not worry about it. Just not worry about having to shift and, I'm inserting this piece, I shift this much, and keeping track of it. It's a hassle. I think Michal does it that way, but I am not a fan of that. So yeah, that's a bunch of stuff on big cubes. And it looks intimidating when you do a really big one, but if any of you want to do it, my advice is do it, think about it one group at a time. Figure out what hand shifts you need, and which things you want to shift between. Like for 20x20, I had 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6, 7, 8, 9, and 6, 7, 9, 10. And so you figure out what you're going to use to cover all the different moves you need to do, and then you just do a couple pieces at a time and think about it in that term. And Listen to music if you want to make it less boring, but don't think of the whole picture. Just do all, 1,000 individual tasks, and it's not that bad. But it takes a while. That's it.